Gold Invest. Explore opportunity.
Prismo Metals, ticker PRYZ on the CSE, only acquired the Silver King-Projekt and its historic mine in the middle of last year. Thanks to, among other things, a pretty smooth permitting process, the company led by CEO Alain Lambert is already gearing up for its first drill program at the site in Arizona now. We want to know more and managed to reach Alain in the US. Welcome.
Great to be with you, Bjorn.
Pleasure to speak to you again, especially as we're nearing a quite important milestone with the Silver King. But Alain, before we talk about the drilling, please give a short synopsis of the Silver King-Projekt and mine for those who might not be familiar with the project yet.
Yes, with pleasure. So Silver King is a project that's located 55-minute drive from Phoenix on the east side, just outside the town of Superior. It's a historic silver mine, produced 6 million ounces of silver, very high-grade deposit. And it was mined in the late 1800s and to the 1900s. It shut down permanently in 1928. It's never been drilled. It's never been systematically explored with modern technique. And it's just 3 kilometers to the northwest of Resolution Copper, which is one of the largest on-mine copper deposits in the world. It's a BHP and Rio Tinto joint venture. So that's the synopsis of Silver King.
Okay. Just a quick thing, though, is you didn't drill yet, because that's what we're going to talk about, but you took some pretty nice samples there already, right?
That's right. So we optioned Silver King back in July of 2025. We spent the better part of about 5 months gaining a better understanding of the geology. We also did some geophysics at the project. We identified some additional target. The first target, which was the obvious one, to drill at and around the mine itself. But on the east side of the property, we found some fairly attractive copper targets, porphyry-style mineralization. Just by the mine itself, we also discovered a polymetallic vein, which consists of the same mineralization as the mine itself. So many drill targets that we identified.
Okay, very interesting. So as we said, you just received the drill for the Silver drill permit for the Silver King a couple of days ago. Now, what does that mean? What does that permit allow you to do?
So the permit is issued by Forest Service or the Tonto National Forest. As you mentioned in your intro, it was a very smooth permitting process. It is a trend. I can confirm it, at least as it relates to Prismo, that mining in the U.S. is something that's a priority. And we were told many times by the authorities that they're now in the business of approving projects, not delaying projects. Mm-hmm. So it's an actual plan of operation, and we've permitted a number of sites which are located around the mine itself, because that's a primary target. And then we can use up to 10 sites, depending on what it is that we're trying to achieve. And it's a multi-year drill permit.
Okay. Interesting, but even more interesting, of course, is what do you want to achieve with this first phase of drilling? What are you looking to test with the first, I think, 1,000 meters?
The first thing I would say is not every meter of drilling is the same. What I mean by that is I've seen some comments online about, well, just 1,000 meters. Well, we're going to gain a lot of knowledge with 1,000 meters. What I mean by that is if you went and drilled next to us where Resolution Copper is, with 1,000 meters, you wouldn't even get to the mineralized body because it's seated at 1,200 meters from surface. Where at Silver King, the mineralization really starts at surface. So the first phase will be to test the mineralized body from surface down to about 200 meters. Mm-hmm. And we understand from all reports that a lot of it, that mineralized body, was not mined in some areas. So we want to identify where it is, how it dips, how wide it is, because that's never been tested. Mm-hmm. So at 1,000 meters, we're going to get some drill holes anywhere from 75 meters to 200 meters. And that should start very, very shortly.
Okay, well, I read that mobilization is on the 20th. What does that mean? When will the drilling start? And of course, most interesting for all investors, when will the results come back?
Yeah, that's a great question, Bjorn, because investors have expectations. Very often, they set their own expectations. So at Prismo Metals, we try to be precise about what to expect and just the way you frame your question. So we're going to mobilize on Friday, which means that there'll be an inspection by Forest Service of the equipment that we bring on site. Then we get on site and start preparing. I would think that we'll start drilling just a handful of days after we're on site. I think investors should think about the speed of the drilling as meters per day. I like to say 25 meters per day to set the right expectation. It can be quicker than that. It should be quicker than that, but I think that's a good rule of thumb. As we get the cores out of the ground, we'll send what we need to the lab. So the last bit of core is going to get sent, let's say, in a month, and let's say we get everything back within 3 to 4 weeks. So our goal here is to drill the entire 1,000 meters, send everything to the lab for assaying, and then release everything all at once. Mm-hmm. So anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, I think, is a good estimate for results, and we're not going to release them piecemeal. The reason for that, Bjorn, is that we want to give a chance to our geologists to analyze everything that they're seeing and understanding what the system is telling them, what the core is telling them. And that will be very helpful for them then to design phase 2 of drilling, which is probably to go look for mineralization at depth, because it's never been tested below 900 feet.
Okay. So 900 feet, around 300 meters, I guess, for us Europeans.
Yes.
So then let's keep our fingers crossed. The timeline holds. Also, it's always out of your hands once the samples are in the lab, right? You have to see how fast they turn it around. But what you have to do is pay for the drilling, of course. And it doesn't come cheap. Sometimes it's cheaper. Sometimes it's more expensive. But it costs a lot of money, generally speaking. And you did a raise in November of last year. I think that should allow you to finance this whole drill program, the first phase at least.
Yes. So I would say the first phase and then double that at the very least. We did do a financing last year. So our drill program, let's say more or less 2,000 meters, probably a little bit more, is fully funded. That would be about 1,000 meters phase 1, 1,000 meters phase 2, maybe more. We have an all-in cost of $315 per meter. We negotiated some good rates with our driller, Mr. Godby, very established firm from Colorado. And so $315, including assays and geologists.
Okay, interesting. So then it's time to start now, really. Everybody is waiting for it. I think that's the perfect time to take a closer look at the company. Would you agree?
I would agree. It's a historic silver mine in a district of very, very large deposits. And I would just maybe to conclude, and one of the reasons why people should follow the drilling at Silver King is, I mentioned Magma Mine. The Magma Mine is between Silver King and Resolution, so about a kilometer from us. Actually, Magma was called at one time the Silver Queen. Okay. And it's very reminiscent of what we have at Silver King in terms of mineralization. Was high-grade silver, and then as they kept going lower, suddenly it turned into copper, and so they mined high-grade copper for 75 years. And through magma underground exploration, that's how they found the big prize, the large resolution copper deposit. And so we're very interested in finding the silver. I would say almost even more interesting is to see if there is a bigger prize that lies below in terms of a large porphyry. So the drilling will give us all the indications that we need to establish that.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're certainly looking forward to things getting started and talk to you soon. Perhaps we'll meet in Toronto when the PDAC comes around once again.
That would be great. Thank you very much, Bjorn.